Hey guys, so today I'm going to show for you a spin on what I call a baked ziti. So this is a faux ziti. It is not actually going to be the pasta ziti, but I am going to use a substitute that is also a carbohydrate and one that is great in nutrients, right? So it really isn't that carbs are the enemy and pasta really isn't the enemy. But however, if you want the best nutrients, the best way to get that is to get the carbohydrates in their whole state, even before they're ground down into flour or pasta. So today my spin is going to be a baked ziti, but instead of pasta, I am going to substitute in cauliflower. And let me tell you, you won't even miss the noodles. All right, so we're gonna start out, and I have a Dutch oven here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil into the Dutch oven and turn on the heat and get the oil nice and hot. And then what I'm going to add to this is I have already chopped onion, and this is actually carrots, and they're rainbow carrots, so they're not going to be the typical orange, but they are still going to add some color into this flavorful dish. So I'm going to get that heated up. Spread around the oil a little bit. And you guys, this is so simple. First time I made it, my husband really didn't want anything to do with it because he thought it had cauliflower. And I said, you have to try this. Oh my God, it's so amazing. And he did, and he liked it. And I know you'll like it too. So I'm gonna just add these in here. And all you're gonna do is simply saute the carrots and onions. And you want to get the carrots so that they're soft, and the onions so that they're soft. So just a little bit of a saute here. And I'm going to say you're probably going to want to saute them over a medium-high heat for probably about 5 minutes, again, until the onions are translucent and the carrots are soft. Okay, so I have the onions and the carrots. They have been sauteing, and to that I'm going to add about a clove of garlic into this. And so this is my spin on the recipe. The recipe, when I discovered it, doesn't have the onions and doesn't have the carrots, but that's something that I wanted to add a little bit more vegetables to it and a little bit more flavor. So now I just added the garlic, and I'm going to continue on let that cook. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add cauliflower. So this is rice cauliflower. I took a head of cauliflower and I just used a regular grater and grated it. Now, a real great cheap way, and something that I normally do, is I buy already riced cauliflower that is frozen, and I just simply add that to this dish. But I didn't have frozen cauliflower, and I figured, hey, might as well just grate it up myself. So now I'm going to add that in. And give it a good toss. Make sure everything is cooked or combined really well. Now to this, I am going to add, it's a jar of homemade, all-natural marinara sauce. This, again, is another cheap way that you can make this meal really simply, right, without going through the hassle of making your own sauce. The one thing that I would recommend is when you're looking for a marinara sauce, actually look at the ingredients and make sure that there's no safflower oil, sunflower oils, cornstarch, any hidden ingredients that you don't want. So this one, actually, all it has in it is tomatoes, olive oil, actually has carrots, salt, celery, and basil. So all natural ingredients, right? Nothing hidden that you really don't want in here. So I'm going to take this jar and add it to the dish. And I'm going to give that a good stir. to a simmer. And I'm going to add some of my own touches to this. So this is just, again, ways that I like to add more flavor to this. So I have basil, and I'm going to take about a teaspoon and put that in there. To that, I'm going to add Italian seasoning, and again, about a teaspoon. I'm going to add that into it. And now I have some coarse salt, and I'm just going to sprinkle that in here. 2 big pinches. And I'm going to mix that around. And I'm going to put the lid on it and just let it cook down so that the cauliflower actually gets soft and cooks up a little bit. So put the lid on it and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Okay, so the sauce is nice and bubbly, and the cauliflower is tender, and I'm going to start adding the next ingredients. Okay, so now that the cauliflower has been simmering and sauteing in the pasta sauce, I'm going to start adding the meat. So I have a pound, and I already have it cooked up. This is chicken sausage that was in the casing, and I took it out of the casing and just made it into crumbles. You can add ground turkey if you'd like. If you are a plant-based person and really don't eat meat, if you like the idea of having a sausage in there, you can always get the faux meat. And I'm going to combine that in. And to this, I'm going to add some fresh cracked pepper. And again, the recipe doesn't necessarily always call for a lot of these spices, and this is just something that I do because I know that eating healthy doesn't mean it has to be bland. So add that in there. Give it a good swirl. Yummy, yummy. Now, to this, we have mozzarella cheese I'm going to put on top, but this is grated, fresh grated Parmesan cheese. It's about a 1/4 cup. And then I have 3 cups of egg whites. So what I'm going to add to this is the egg white. Mix that all in. And to that, I am going to sprinkle in the Parmesan cheese. Again, I'm just going to mix it all in, let this cook for about another 5 minutes or so, because we do want the eggs to get cooked. We are going to bake this in the oven, but I still want to incorporate all the egg whites in with this, in addition to the cheese, so that the cheese gets nice and melted. And I'm going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. All right, so at this point, I am going to give it a taste. And let's see if I need to add any more seasonings or flavor to it. It's so good. So good. Now, to this, I have some spinach, and just really roughly chopped spinach, and it's about 2 cups. I'm going to add that into the dish. Stir it around just to cover it. So we're getting all the nutrients right. You see that we have the cauliflower, which is a great carbohydrate in the form of a veggie, right? And then we have some spinach. Again, another great source of vitamins, and it is a carbohydrate. And let's try to incorporate it, and what'll happen is the spinach will wilt a little bit, and then I'm going to get ready to dump it into a pan and top it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and then bake it in the oven. Okay, so I have an already prepared Pyrex dish. It's 8 by 8, and what I mean by prepared is I took a little bit of olive oil and just spread it around. This should not stick whatsoever, but I just want to be sure. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. And I'm going to try awfully hard to dump it in here without making a mess. All right. Turn the camera down just a little bit. You see me. You can't see the camera very well, but or the casserole dish very well. That I have it layered in here. So here's a little bit better view of what that looks like. An 8 by 8 pan. It is fully loaded with my faux ziti, which is riced cauliflower in a prepared marinara sauce with some ground chicken sausage and then a whole bunch of spices and some spinach. And now I'm going to take mozzarella cheese. So I just purchase it like this rather than the shredded, because I have learned that a lot of the shredded cheeses have a lot of unnecessary fillers in it, so that the cheese doesn't stick together, and I don't want that. So I just buy a block of mozzarella cheese and cut what I need. And I'm going to put that in the oven until the cheese gets nice and bubbly and melted. All right, so I'm going to get ready to take it out of the oven, and I will show you the finished product. So here we have it, you guys. It's nice and bubbling, and I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of seconds here, just to cool off a little bit, and I'm gonna plate it up and give it a try. And you guys, I promise you, if you try this recipe, you will be so shocked at how delicious it really is, and how you really won't miss the ziti noodles. I promise. That's what it looks like. So yeah, when you don't have the shredded cheese, you can't really cover the top. But you know what? When you cut into it, you'll get a nice taste of that mozzarella cheese, and it is so, so yummy. Okay, so the moment of truth, I'm just going to cut into it, and I'm going to get a little bit of that cheese right here. Very thick. Very gooey. Whoops. Get some of the juice. So I'm gonna give it a taste here. Still very hot, but man, it is so good. So what I'm tasting is definitely the chicken Italian sausage, right? It's a mild chicken sausage. Tastes so yummy. It gets a little bit of a crunch from the vegetables. but they're very, very soft. You don't even know that you don't have, or you don't miss the noodles. So for true Italian people, you might miss the noodles, but for me, I don't miss it whatsoever. So, so yummy, so delicious. You gotta give it a try.